you know that Cole's been bragging for over a year about his undefeated WrestleMania streak.
Guess what?
Jerry Lawler gets retribution.
He ain't undefeated no more, dog. Look at that sucker right there, man.
Congratulations to the...
What the hell?
The anonymous Raw general manager says, due to the blatant interference by Booker T, I'm reversing the decision. Your winner is Michael Cole.
You can't be running.
Arena, and I have come to the conclusion that if the anonymous Raw general manager is indeed here tonight, there is only one place left he or she could be, and that is under the ring.
The anonymous GM says, no, I'm not. There is absolutely no one under the ring sending anonymous emails. Leave the ring now. That's an order.
That sounds like a clue.
You over my knee and give you a spanking.
Did not just see that.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your host, Fearon.
Sit down, shut up, and listen up.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Hornswoggle revealed as the anonymous Raw general manager. We'll get back to that in a minute, but a new feature that we've been trying over the last couple of weeks to get going, but we've had phone issues and some other things. A little bit of a beach blast report, easy for me to say, courtesy of WBCB's own Captain Ken Fortna. Easy for me to say, Ken.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Avenge me here.
For a living?
Yeah, I get paid for this apparently, although I may not after this.
Hey, the weatherman gets paid to give the wrong forecast, so you can get paid to stumble through.
I can stumble through. Yeah, I can hardly do worse than some of the wrestling announcers. That's for sure.
Oh, I just love Vicky, man.
Oh, Vicky Guerrero. Oh, okay.
Please. As you make your way along 413, trying to get out of Bristol into Burlington to head down to the Jersey Shore, you're definitely going to encounter some delays along 413 at the bridge to 130 and then 537. heavier activity as you make your way off the Betsy Ross, but the biggest backups at the Walt Whitman on the 42 freeway as you make your way down to 55 to pick up 47 to head down to 347. After you're sticking with the Atlantic City Expressway down by the airport, you do have a nasty accident there. Just prior to Pleasantville, things are pretty well jammed up for a couple of miles. Give yourself at least an extra 30 minutes. Now, if you are heading down to the beach, that's the separation. Jersey calls it the shore. The beach is in Delaware. So let's get that straight, okay? Now, you're on the same page as you make your way along the Route 1 corridor. Yeah, things are pretty well stacked up from 95 all the way down to the Ross Bridge. That's that yellow cable suspension bridge over the C&D Canal down before the Dover Air Force Base. Then more traffic hassles as you make your way outside of Milford into the area of Route 113 at the business loop around. And then you're pretty well jammed up from Lewis. That's the 5 points at Route 9, where the Cape May Lewis ferry intersects down through to Rehoboth Beach. Okay, you're not a beach goer, you're not a shore goer, but you're going down to Center City, Philadelphia. Watch out for problems south 95, the Vine Street Expressway. Also northbound, a quick tap of the brakes in the area of the Scuddles Falls on the Turnpike as you make your way between the area of Willow Grove and Fort Washington. And if you're heading up into the Poconos, watch out for some traffic hassles in the area of 663. That's a quicker town from north of Lansdale and through the Lehigh Tunnel. And we'll wrap it up with a problem on the New Jersey Turnpike northbound, up at 7A, up to 8A at Hightstown, and at Summers Point from 52 between Mine and Howland Avenue and Hopewell Harmony Road. You got a couple of things going on there on the Columbia Highway, just up from John Dare Road. Traffic brought to you by the Conquering Grounds Cafe. This cafe serves up Christian bands plus free beverages and baked goods in a laid-back atmosphere. All are invited, from kids to family, and it's a free event. It happens tonight at the Christian Life Center in the Edge Building, 3100 Galloway Road. Christian Life Center is the big white church just down from the Yosemite Mall. 7 to 10, 2 bands for the price of free. Searching for a name, an MJ. Join us tonight or log on to CLPRM.org. From the Traffic Tips Radio Network, Captain Ken Fortna, 1490 AM WBCB.
Pro wrestling has had a few famous captains. Captain Lou Albano, Captain Mike Rotundo. We have Captain Ken Fortna. Thank you, Ken. We'll catch up with you next week here on Pro Wrestling Weekly.
I don't know if I'd look as good in them underwear shorts as they do, but, I'd be more like the Big Show.
There we go. That is good. That is good Big Show wrestling trunk singlet knowledge on your part there, Captain Ken.
Giant,
or Andre the Giant. Okay.
Man.
Good. You want to go with the one strap singlet? Okay.
Yeah, there you go, man. Hey, take care, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Ken. Glad we were able to get you up here. Now, going back to the clip that you heard just coming out of the timeout there, of course, the long-awaited reveal of Hornswoggle as the general manager, the anonymous general manager of Raw. You can tell that was kind of scrapped together and pretty much thrown in there for Vince McMahon to get a little bit of a chuckle. Mike, of course, chiming in, Hornswoggle, the GM, really? I guess he's taking over for Miz while he's filming the Marine 3. Are we serious this whole time? Guess we can all say we got the short end of the deal. LOL, yes, throwing a little bit of a height joke in there on Hornswoggle. If you want to throw in some your comments, a little afraid to get on the phones, you can certainly do so by checking out the Facebook fan page, WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly. Go ahead and like us, post on the wall, and if your comments are interesting, funny, or quirky enough, I'll more than likely read them on the air. And speaking of things reading on the air, of course, Doug, my good buddy over at George's Cards and Collectibles. Don't forget today from 1 until 3 p.m. That's right, only a half hour away from now. You can make your way over there, listen to us in the car. Get over to George's Cards and Collectibles over at 7755 New Falls Road, right over in Levittown. The Nasty Boys, Knobs and Sags, they'll be in the house from 1 until 3, and they're not done. Also on Sunday, August 19th, Shelly Martinez, the former valet over at WWE, as well as Matt Hardy, former WWE and TNA star. Matt Hardy and Shelly Martinez, they will be at George's Cards and Collectibles on New Falls on Sunday, August 19th. Yes, that is the same day as SummerSlam. So go a little earlier in the day, check out Matt Hardy and Shelly Martinez, and then check out SummerSlam on the 19th of August. But more recently than that, or sooner than that, the Nasty Boys, about a half hour from now over at George's Cards and Collectibles. Hey, well, let's go ahead and get back to the phones. Had a few people waiting patiently here. Let's keep going with Ed from the Northeast. A little bit of our look at the local scene. Ed, what's going on?
Tonight we have CCW New Heights in Voorhees at the Flyers Skate Zone.
Alrighty, over in Voorhees.
A one-hour marathon match for the junior heavyweight title. And a ladder challenge match.
Alrighty, some great stuff there to say the least.
And we got a DWF logo next weekend on July 21st in Pennsauken.
Over in Pennsauken, yeah, they do some great stuff. I've had the chance to check out a couple of their shows.
And WWE is coming to town for SmackDown.
And when's that going on?
September 18th. Tickets went on sale this morning.
Tickets went on sale this morning for September 18th SmackDown, and that's going to be in Philly?
Yes.
Wells Fargo Center?
Yes.
Excellent stuff. Thank you so much for the call, Ed. Appreciate the look at the local scene as always. And not that I want to necessarily trump Ed from the Northeast, but there's one that I want to let you know about. And, of course, some close friends that I've kind of made over the course of doing this show for the last almost 3.5 years. Of course, my good buddy Madman Moose Moretti, easy for me to say. He's getting back in the ring. It's been a few years. The return of the Madman, that's going to be going on with UWF Pro Wrestling. It's going to be Saturday, August 4th, which that would be 3 weeks from tonight, 7:30 p.m., Eagles Hall. And that's over at 920 Trenton Road over in Fairless Hills. Tickets are available at the door. And I'll tell you what, I've got a pair of tickets, and I will give them away if you want to join me over at George's Cards and Collectibles. There you go. Get a chance to see the Nasty Boys and just see me. Just give me the password of Madman, and I've got the first person to do that. I've got a pair of tickets for you free for the show. It's $15 general admission, so $30 value for absolutely free. Just come on up to me over at George's Cards and Collectibles, and the password, of course, is Madman, and I've got those tickets for you. Something a little bit different there. Kind of getting 2 plugs for the price of 1, something like that. All righty. So, yes, we've got Hornswoggle, we've got Money in the Bank, we've got Thoughts Everywhere, and let's go to Derek, who's been hanging on ever so patiently. Derek, your thoughts on any and all things in pro wrestling. What's on your mind?
Yeah, Fearon, how's it going?
Not too bad.
Well, I was going to say I thought I was going under a mimic name just to surprise you.
I think Bill was having a little trouble here. I threw a D on there. That's, of course, Eric from the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. Okay, I threw a bonus D in there I shouldn't have. There we go.
Well, I was probably mumbling when I called in, so it's probably my bad about that.
Okay, well, yeah, you're waking up a little early over there in the Central Time Zone.
Yeah, well, I was going to talk about the Hornswoggle as GM, because I thought, with me too, I thought that came a little short for Hornswoggle as general manager.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are a number of gags you could go with. You could say that the writers in coming up with a solution to it were short-sighted. I mean, yeah, how clever do you... Even Bill Melody's chuckling at that one.
Yeah, well, I just felt like that is, I think, well, especially with the Hornswoggle as the illegitimate son of Vince, that I just feel like that they just threw Hornswoggle in just to tie up the storyline and just to please people that, hey, that we've told you who the general manager is.
I guess, and I don't know. I guess now they can kind of turn the page on it, but it's kind of one of those, almost when they had Hornswoggle revealed as the illegitimate son of Vince McMahon, like you said, it just, I don't know, kind of leaves a sour taste in everybody's mouth. Like, wait, who? That's who? Oh, really? You could almost hear the crowd get deflated the moment that all went down, with the exception of, as John Cena mentioned a few weeks ago, the majority of the audience who were 9 years old, who evidently found that hysterical, laughing right along with Vince in the back.
Yeah. Also, I was wanting to talk to you about the possible Raw winner for the Money in the Bank.
Yes, I haven't had the chance to go over my predictions, certain to go wrong yet, but yes, your thoughts on Money in the Bank tomorrow night?
Just because it ties in storyline-wise, how about the winner, the WWE champion will be walking on the Money in the Bank will be Kane with AJ.
Kane and AJ. Well, that certainly is a possibility. I mean, if Kane wins the ladder match and then does what he has done before at Money in the Bank, which is cash in later that night, he could potentially walk out of there with both the belt and the girl.
Just because how AJ said that she'll walk out with her husband out of
her future husband, yeah. That is a possibility I didn't throw out there. That's or at least didn't see, but that's certainly one that's plausible, which is probably why WWE won't do it.
Yeah, well, so I actually got that from Brian Alvarez from TheWrestlingObserver.com, but I just want to kind of pass that idea along to you, just because he was saying that, yeah, it could be, just because King took himself out of the storyline a few weeks back, saying that he's too much of a monster for AJ and how AJ is psycho. So to me, it makes sense that Kane, those two made that quote unquote storyline just to take Kane out for Bryan and Punk to wear each other out, then for Kane to come in and cash in and walk out as champ.
The only thing that kind of leaves me wondering is, where does that lead you for SummerSlam next month? I mean, would you have would you have a rematch of a triple threat, Kane against Bryan against Punk? Would you have Punk against Kane in a singles rematch? Would you have Bryan against Kane? I mean, that's kind of where you're not really sure where you want to go next with it.
How about Kane and The Rock?
Well, it doesn't look like The Rock. I mean, at this point, he's got movie after movie after movie lined up, and the earliest he's going to be back in a WWE ring competing, and this is, I believe, based on a post on his Twitter, is January. And his whole WrestleMania schedule kind of got thrown off base completely because of the pushback of the release of the G.I. Joe movie. It was supposed to come out this past May, but they're retweaking it. They want to release it in 3D, so it's coming out in, I believe, March or April of 2013, right around the time where The Rock would be making a push for WrestleMania, but it looks like he's going to have to be doing a lot of the media tours and whatnot, promoting G.I. Joe now with this new release date.
How about if Kane does win the WWE title at SummerSlam? It would be him and The Undertaker.
I'd be absolutely shocked. This is going to be one of those deals with The Undertaker. I can't see him coming back at SummerSlam. I mean, after wrestling at WrestleMania last year, we didn't see him for close to another year, so I can't imagine at this stage of his career, since he's already kind of doing a one-match-a-year deal, that he'd want to come back a few months later and rehash an already done 17 times over feud with Kane.
Well, I was going to say, especially with last one that they had a feud, how their matches weren't really the greatest anyway, so I can't see that. I just wanted to throw that out there just to give you a hard time.
You mean you've heard the show long enough? You know there are enough people who give me a hard time. Now you're going to start throwing in from way up north there.
Yeah, why not?
If only, I was going to say, in about a month, I'm actually going to be going to see relatives up in Canada. If it were that far west, I'd probably swing your way. But no, I'm going to Barrie, about an hour north of Toronto. But I'll still have a show that weekend. I'll talk more about that as it comes up a little bit closer. Another show in the can, as it were. But we'll also get some never-before-heard interviews in there, including one with the total package Lex Luger. That should be fun.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, just one last question, then I can get off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I've been hearing a lot that TNA's been a lot better than Raw lately. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
There have been a lot of developments that I think are going real well. The Ultimate X tournament to determine a new X Division champion, I thought that was well done, although quickly going over the results, my guesses at the pay-per-view, I've certainly done better. I was 1-4 on the pay-per-view. I mean, the only one that I got right was the last man standing match of Styles and Daniels, but everything else I apparently didn't have a clue. But, I mean, it's good to see some new blood up at the top. As I was saying earlier to Ron, I like what they're doing with Zema Ion. They're kind of building another heel X Division champion, and I could see a fairly lengthy run of his for a massive feud once Jesse Sorensen's declared healthy enough to wrestle again. I mean, that's just that's built right in.
Yeah, it makes sense. I know, well, my work schedule is hard for me to catch any wrestling on TV, but I might have to get around to start recording it, or especially start recording TNA just to hear all the...
Well, now here's a question for you. Do you have DirecTV?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay. That was one of the big stories. I haven't gotten to any of the news or notes, but that was one of the big stories coming out of the week is the, in case you didn't hear, DirecTV and Viacom, which is the major network company that runs a bunch of networks, including Spike TV, the media conglomerate that owns a ton of networks. They've been at a big contract dispute, and they did not reach a new contractual agreement before midnight this past Tuesday, which I guess was the deadline. So Viacom opted to pull all of their networks from the DirecTV lineup, including Spike TV, Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, among a few others. And, the direct quote here, Viacom, the owner of this channel, forced DirecTV to suspend it despite our many requests to keep it on. We're working to bring it back as soon as possible without an unfair increase to your bill. So a little bit of back and forth going on. So DirecTV viewers out there, unfortunately, you won't be able to watch Impact Live as it's been pulled while they're dealing with the contract dispute.
Do you know if people can go online to watch Impact?
I don't know if TNA's necessarily reached out to do some streaming web things. That would be rather innovative on their part, kind of a nice extension of the olive branch to DirecTV customers to say, hey, we know you can't watch on the TV, but if you go on to ImpactWrestling.com, maybe offer something up, or maybe have it up, even if they can't stream it live, if they can, put it up the next day or something. I mean, people do that with YouTube seemingly all the time, so I don't see why the folks over at TNA couldn't do that with their own show.
I think that would constantly help with the ratings too.
Well, and unfortunately, their ratings are going to be affected. I mean, I don't know what percentage of viewers watching Impact are DirecTV viewers, and I guess over the course of this weekend, as the ratings, the quarter-hour ratings and the overall ratings will be released, that'll tell a better tale of what kind of impact, no pun intended, there's going to be on TNA with the dispute of DirecTV and Viacom.
I take it the rating hasn't came out yet for Impact this week?
I was digging around for it, although I got a late start on just about everything, trying to put a ton of different things together. So I didn't get the chance to immediately find out, but I'll try to dig that up over the course of the next time out here, which is coming up rather quickly. In fact, I'm up against it, so I'm going to get rolling. Thanks so much for the call, Eric. Always appreciate it. And I'll take a look for that, see if I can get some numbers on Impact's ratings from this past Thursday being affected, if at all, by the DirecTV Viacom dispute. And we've got some more news and notes as well. I've also still got my predictions certain to go wrong for Money in the Bank. That's going to come up in our final segment. And we've got a little bit of time for you as well. Well, we've always got time for you. That's how we do here. It's a very interactive show, Pro Wrestling Weekly. 215-949-3232. As well as toll-free at 888-922-2149. You can also reach us via Facebook at WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly, and you can search using that same terminology, WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly, on YouTube to get archives of the show. We've gone all the way back to October of 2011. I'll see what else I can dig up from the archives, because I've got tapes everywhere. We had a bit of a hard drive crash, so a lot of the stuff that was saved digitally got lost, so I'll see what I can do about recovering some of that. But otherwise, for the more recent shows, you can certainly tune in there and listen. We had a technical glitch here, so last week's show wasn't uploaded. I promise I will get to that. I'll basically do 2 uploads, this week's show and last week's show. I'll do that in the overnight tonight here on BCB. as I'm on the air from midnight until 5 a.m. playing music for you. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.